Oh, sir.
Are they do we run back from you?
Another one. So is that third one?
They, I've lost count. I don't know what.
Okay.
I'm just looking at 18.
And again, this isn't noticed until 11. And so if the prosecutor had intended to be here, let's talk about what we've got here. And John, I think I'm going to need prosecutor input on this because she also has an abuse neglect case. Judge Pattison stopped in earlier this morning. He's got some cases with with Sarah. Start the record. And she needs to also see the magistrate. This is file 231424 FY People versus Sarah Ann Jones. Miss Jones was charged with possession of methamphetamine as a second offender. She had a previous methamphetamine charge in 2020 in file 201215. She entered a plea. Let me get back into your case. On September 19th to a use of methamphetamine. Prosecutor recommended no upfront jail. She indicated that there was an abuse and neglect case and she had gone to the Gilmore Center. She also had a case that was set for Judge Pattison on 10/25, but you actually have 3 drugged driving charges. We tried to sort these out, one from May 11th, one from May 12th, and one from May 25th, where you were quite debilitated by duster spray. You also have unpaid fines and costs in multiple other cases. File 183743 is a retail fraud charge. Where you were on a payment plan and stopped making payments sometime in 2020. File 192767 is a retail fraud charge where you're on a payment plan and I don't think ever made a payment. On the underlying methamphetamine charge from 2020, you were discharged from probation, put on a payment plan, and didn't make a payment. Then, as I indicated, you have three drugged driving cases from the month of May. And this case is from the month of May. At the time of the plea, Mr. Marvin's recommendation was no upfront jail. And he was aware of at least one of the other drug driving charges, but now you have 3 of them.
I turned myself in, and then a week later, I found out that they brought one back from May 2.
Well, they had to wait for the laboratory results. We looked them up. They were at 3 different locations. And
I submitted to, I let them take me to the hospital and draw my blood. And
yeah, and it had fluoroxafine or whatever the ingredient is in duster spray. And so it takes a while for that to come back. And Deborah Davis has joined us from the prosecutor's office, which I greatly appreciate. You have to also see Judge Pattison in some of those other cases. Deborah, this case was a recommendation for no upfront jail time, but I don't really want to do a probation on this charge. She completed a probation previously. She didn't pay the fines. And now she has fines unpaid in 2 other cases. And she has 3 drugged driving charges pending. What I don't know, which is why I'm glad you're here, is how she'd been doing in her abuse neglect cases, whether she'd been testing. I know she had gone to Gilmore. And then when I came in about 10 after 7 this morning, and she wasn't on the jail roster. Then a little later, I learned that she was on it, that she had turned herself in.
I left work and came to take care of it all. I didn't mean to miss court last week. The ride I had didn't show up, and I called, and I have a job. I'm working at Viking, and I love it. It's gotten a vehicle now, so I can rely on myself to get to my testing. I don't need nobody else going into my own home like I'm trying.
All right. Deborah, do you have any input on this case?
Well, it's a bit complicated. Lori Hines just sent me a text saying that she heard that Ms. Jones had been turned herself in or picked up, whatever. She was supposed to be here last Wednesday for her jury trial, which was going to be a plea to kind of a global offer in all of those OUID cases. But I don't know how she's doing in her abuse neglect case. I just sent a message to Chief Assistant Robert to see if he's got any input. But last I knew from Ms. Hines, she wasn't keeping in great contact with Ms. Hines. I don't know what she's been doing. And that's kind of the unknown that we have, is she wasn't preparing for her trial. I don't know what she's been up to. And actually, I just got a note from Mr. Robert. He filed a termination petition in August, and the trial is coming up soon. So she's not doing well in her abuse neglect case.
Mr. Bush, what would you like? And in your credit, you got like 1 second notice that she'd been turned
I
herself
think
in.
Attorney Knapsinger represents her in the abuse and neglect case.
Yes, he does.
Last I knew, she was going to the day report center 3 times a week, and they'd all been negative since she returned from Gilmore. I mean, those are the notes that I have from my client back in early September.
Well, the day reporting center has problems testing for huffing ingredients. It's very difficult to detect. You can't do it with a PBT or the normal urine tests. So I don't know what she's been doing. So Sarah, what have you been doing?
I've gotten a job, I'm working. That's 3 requirements I need. It is the job, house, and car, and I've finally landed them all. And I have had to rely on rides, and it just doesn't help me. I haven't been doing duster. I understand that was a problem, but I'm trying, and now it's all just.
It is. Well, this is your second methamphetamine case, and on May 5th, the car was full of duster cans. You got arrested on Big Hill Road.
I was never arrested.
And that's part of the problem, is this, you were on a tear in May. This was May 5th. possession of a small amount of methamphetamine and a car full of duster spray. You got arrested or ticketed on May 11th. The very next day on May 12th, you got ticketed again for OUID. And then you were quite disoriented on May 25th. So they sent the stuff to the crime lab. And so you have 3 OUID cases, plus all this other unpaid stuff.
Your Honor,
And yes,
also, there may be somebody from CPS trying to join this hearing, Sue Pennock.
well, I've got Justin's phone, but I don't know who it is.
Okay. Jordan Yancey is involved with this, the abuse neglect case, and she let Sue Pennock know that there was a sentencing today. It's the CPS supervisor she was going to try and get on. And I also did receive note from Mr. Robert that she has not been testing often, and she was positive for methamphetamine in July. So that would have been after these huffing and driving incidents and the possession of the methamphetamine in May. She then tested positive for methamphetamine in July.
Sarah, I don't know what to say. I've got this case, but and Mr. Marvin went into this with his eyes open. He made a recommendation of no upfront jail, but then other things have transpired since then. This was in September. Lori Hines is here. Thank you for that, Lori, who's representing you in some of the other cases, abuse neglect cases.
No, her other 3 criminal, well,
Okay.
actually 2 of the criminal matters.
Yes.
She hasn't been arraigned on the 3rd one. But Debbie Davis had given us a global offer to settle.
Yes.
Perhaps the best option today is if she could do that, and maybe we could settle.
Well, I set this for after her jury trial. She didn't show up on Wednesday, and much to everybody's chagrin. So fortunately, Lori and Judge Pattison and Deborah Davis were, communicating, and they called the jurors off because Sarah had done such a poor job of staying in contact with everybody. Sarah, you're gonna go to jail for a while before all this is done. You don't get 5 free passes. I don't know what it's gonna be. The recommendation was no upfront jail.
Can I please have the probation center or somewhere so I can keep my job? Keep trying.
I can't answer that. When did you get out of Gilmore?
Oh, I turned myself in right when I got out.
Why didn't you show up for your jury trial last
The
Wednesday?
ride I had didn't show up. And
Well, why didn't
I
you?
called.
Called who?
immediately, the courthouse, and I.
Did you ever talk to your lawyer about the fact that, hey, you have a jury trial tomorrow?
I wasn't aware that it was a jury trial. I was told it wasn't a jury trial, that it wouldn't make it to jury trial. And I called and I spoke to 2 ladies here. I was trying, I should have just walked. I was already late by waiting on somebody. Thank you. I had every intention on coming to court. I had just talked to Lori the day before, and multiple times. When I had to go to Florida when my son drowned, I had called her and let her know on the way that,
I did hear about this.
yeah, my son drowned
And when?
in the care of these people
Where?
in Florida when they took him out of state without my permission
When?
in July.
That's completely outside my realm of knowledge, and I'm sorry. So your son was in foster care and
Yeah, but I did great for 8 months and I just,
all
I'm
right.
trying to do what I can do.
You know, looking at my notes, based upon what she told me when I first met her, I think she was in Gilmore Center for 2 weeks in mid to late August of 2023, if that helps.
I think she was there from 8:10 to 8:24.
I came in and I turned myself in that following Monday.
And
And
that
then I
was
got
on
out.
that was on 8:28. Well, you got other problems. 2 days credit, 2 days. You got a pattern of not paying your fines and costs. I'm not putting you on a probation in this case. There's no sense of it.
I haven't had a reliable job till this one.
But when I talked to you before, you were applying for a job at American Axle.
Yeah, I went through the whole process. I had everything. I don't know. They were going on strike last I knew.
Yeah, the timing wasn't great. I don't know how you were gonna get back and forth either,
But
but
I'm working at Viking and I love my job. And I told them this morning when I went in, I let them know everything. And they said I have a job when they come out.
all right, well, you can tell that to Judge Pattison. $125 or 2 additional days. I'm not gonna chase you for money anymore. I did payment plans. One problem with duster spray is it permanently damages your brain, makes you dumber, it lowers your IQ, and your cognitive capacity is diminished after extended use of it. You seem better today, but you've got lots of problems in your other cases. And I'm very sorry. I did not know your son had drowned. And I'm not sure anything about it. It has anything to do with this, but the deal was no upfront jail, presuming there'd be a probation, but I don't want a probation. And I don't want you to withdraw your plea in this matter. I'm gonna order 2 days credit, 2 days, $125 fine, or 2 other days, which will get swallowed up by what else you're gonna do. But you've got 3 cases of that pending, possibly more. So they're waiting for you next door. Lori, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck, Sarah. You
Judge
got-
Pattison is aware she's here.
Yes, he and I talked this morning about 9:30.
All right, I'll just go next door then. You gonna bring her around? Yeah.
Debbie, I'm waiting for Taylor Combs. And she's gonna be in the court next door. Well, she had 1 case here and she has 3 more cases next door.
Okay, did she get a bond?
No, well, she got only 2 days jail and $125 or 2 more days, but she has 3 more cases pending. She's probably not gonna get a bond, but she'll be in there in just a few minutes.
All right.
All right, thank you. John, I appreciate you walked in the door and they said, wait a minute, you got a case. Her bigger problems are next door.
I haven't dealt with a huffing person in a long time, and we used to see that quite a bit.
Our old friend, Mr. Owen.
That's actually what I was gonna read.
Good morning.
Court calls case people versus, is it Anuba? Is it Devendi?
Yes. Anubhav Dwivedi.
Trisha Reiser on behalf of the people.
Bridget Coons, on behalf of Mr. Dwivedi. Mr. Dwivedi, if you can state your name and full.
Anubhav Dwivedi.
All right, you can put your hand down, sir. All right, what are we doing?
Your Honor, we would like to take a plea for this file. The prosecution has offered him 4A, which he would like to plead guilty to. In addition, we would like to do a motion to address bond.
All right, so take the plea to this charge. Sir, please raise your right hand.
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, my lord.
State your name again for the record, sir.
Anubhav Dwivedi.
All right. You can put your hand down. Sir, it is this court's understanding that you're going to be pleading guilty to the charge of domestic violence. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
Yes, my lord.
Understanding that, you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes, my lord.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Yes, my lord.
Okay, how do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
All right. Now you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, my lord.
Okay. Because of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You're giving up
Yes,
your
ma'am.
right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent, not have that silence used against you. And you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that, sir?
Yes, my lord.
Okay. You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, my lord.
Are you on probation or parole?
Like I'm not like allowed to have a
Okay.
contact, like in-person contact. That's I know.
Okay, but are you under the jurisdiction of any other court?
No, no, sir. No, no, my lord.
All right. Have you ever been to prison?
No, my lord.
Okay. Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you
No,
to plead guilty?
No, my lord.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No, my lord.
You're doing this voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes, my lord.
And because you believe that you're guilty of this offense?
Yes, my lord.
On the date of October 1st, 2023, located Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan. What did you do to, is it the Chica Divinde that makes you think that you're guilty?
Yep. So it was like we had an argument. We just returned from our trip and we had an argument, and that argument raised, and just in that argument, it was just end up with a bad slap, and I am really feel guilty of that one.
Okay, so you slapped her?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay, you did that on purpose?
So it was just like in that. I don't understand. It was in the anger or like that things, but it was not an intentional one, sir. But yes, it was my fault.
Okay, but you intended to do it.
No, no.
You didn't intend to slap her?
So like, yeah, sir, so like in that argument, it was like, it happened in the argument. It had happened.
Okay, maybe I'm not understanding some parts of this. You indicated that you slapped her.
Yes, yes, my lord.
Okay. And did you intend to slap her?
Yes, my lord.
Okay. And who is this person to you?
She's my wife.
Okay. And you did not have her permission to slap her, did you?
Yes, my lord.
Well, you had her permission to do that?
No, my lord.
Okay. All right. Counsel, have I complied with the court rule? Would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
The people are satisfied.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to this charge. Defendant is referred to probation for a pre-sentence investigation and report, as well as consideration of 4A. Sentencing in this matter will be
November 27th at 1 p.m.
November 27th, 2023, 1 p.m. All right, sir, I need you to stay on the line. We're going to put you into a, well, I think there was something you wanted to address with bond, counsel.
Yes, so right now there is a no contact.
Oh, I lost you, counsel. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So there is a no contact order with his wife. His wife is currently on the line and would like that lifted. She does have health complications and she is unable to drive. She also has a 4-year-old son that's getting complicated with the schooling and trying to transport him. So for those reasons, we would ask that the no contact order be lifted.
I believe all that information is accurate, Your Honor, according to the victim advocate who has been in communication with the victim. The victim is present. I know that's what she wants. I believe that to the court's discretion.
All right. Ma'am, is there something you wanted to tell the court?
Yes, Your Honor, I really request you to allow him to stay with us because my son wants to go outside and play outside with his dad. And we are currently shifted here, so we have no family, no friends here, so we are facing so difficulty. So I really request you to allow him to stay with us.
All right. All right, the no contact provision is removed. I will add a provision of no non-consensual contact. There is also, I think, is the is that the marital residence?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
All right, I will remove the no-go too. Here it is. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, we're going to put you into a breakout room with probation intake. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Court does call the case.